Audra, you gotta come down to the couch. You gotta come down to the couch.
That was
After
amazing.
That, oh my God.
I made it on the couch.
Wow.
Can we get another?
I made it on the couch.
Yeah, can we hear some? Wow, that was great. You are so much more talented than us. Wow.
Yeah, I'm not even that good singing in the shower.
You're terrible.
Talents are different for everybody.
Yeah, that's what they keep telling me, huh? Yeah. So how long have you been songwriting and playing?
Well, probably since I was about 17 or
Wow.
18, under the willow tree. I
So
grew
like
up.
5 years?
Yeah, yeah, since, I don't know, about 30 plus 40 years, 37 years.
I don't believe it, but
Well,
that's amazing.
You know,
Yeah,
it's all the whiskey and women.
I
And
hear
the
that
singing.
works.
Yeah.
Right, Will?
Yeah.
Yeah. He drinks milk mostly.
All right.
Yeah.
And once in a while, I add a little bit of Tabasco.
Yeah, no, that's
to my
good
milk.
stuff. That'll break it all up in your lungs, and I think the deep breathing is what keeps me young.
Really?
Like singing takes a lot of breathing.
Yeah.
And the more oxygen you get into your brain, like the longer it works. Or I don't know, is that true?
I think that is true.
Or the better it works.
The yogis know it.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, you have how many albums out right now?
7 albums.
Amazing.
Thanks.
What's your favorite one?
That's a hard question, but the last one I put out in 2019, it's called The Sliver in the South, and I was really excited about it, and it was like November 2019, release party, everything's happening, tours were set up for 2020, like everything was happening, and then it was like, oh, no, you're not going anywhere. And so it's one of the albums that I put out that I wish people had really heard, because I do think it's some of my best work. I think as writers, and hopefully this is true of all of us, like creatives, that we're constantly kind of trying to move further or beyond or get better. And so I think those songs were like my best crafted songs,
Right.
I guess.
Wow. What's your process like for writing them?
A lot of different ways I write songs, but sometimes it starts with just a little, a moment that you see something, you're like, oh, and then other times it's like based in really personal stories. I used to write way more personally, or about like myself in my younger years, and then I realized I was like, I don't need to hear, a song that says I again. I'm sick of it.
Right.
And so then I started writing from other people's perspectives. And then now I'm kind of like in this more activism kind of space where it's like I'm kind of using vulnerability. I mean, I think overall, like, my work uses vulnerability to kind of like push our own envelopes, and and push us to, I don't know, think deeply and work bravely. And
Right. So when you write from someone else's perspective, is it like a story you read or someone you met, or like?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, I have a song called Mountain Woman, and it's about my grandmother, and she wrote a book in her 80s. Yeah, I have like this mountain woman grandmother who just was like
So she lives
amazing.
in a mountain?
She grew up in the Appalachian Mountains. She
like
was,
in the hills, like?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, are
And
you
she lived
originally from here?
I am from Detroit. Yeah, but my mother is from the South, and so it was her mother that grew up in the mountains.
Wow.
And she was like a healer and just this wild woman. And so she wrote a book called Mended Vessel. And then when I read it, I was like, oh, I got to tell this story about my grandmother. And I mean, I knew kind of about her, but like until I read the book, I mean, like all the trauma and like tragedy and like beauty. But then the song came out, Mountain Woman, sort of from that.
Yeah.
And but I also think, perspective writing can be like partly because you can't deal with your own pain.
Mm-hmm.
And so like if you're just like, well, it's about them,
Right.
it's like also a good way to like kind of hide some of your own trauma or pain, whatever. Fuck.
But you still relate
Did
to
I
it.
swear? I swore.
What'd you say?
Is that I'm not gonna say it
Can you
again.
say it again?
I said
Here, say it and I'll bleep it out.
I said F word.
Wait, say it about
I
bleep
said
it out.
fuck.
Yeah, do it again.
Yeah, I was, fuck only is funny the first time. Like then after a while, like fuck just gets kind of,
That's
you know
true.
what I'm.
No, I know what you mean.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So what's next? What's the next question?
The next question. When you're writing from someone else's perspective, you still, I guess you relate to it in some way, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think I mean, I think everybody's story is kind of relatable, right? And I think that we use each other's stories to help sort of collectivize the way we celebrate joy and the way that we deal with trauma and crises. So, I mean, I think that's the pathway to compassion, is to sort of share that with others. Because it's easy to share each other's joy. Like, oh, this great thing happened to you, yay! And then you like sort of see the sad person on the street, and you're like, oh, and like that's too much. And it's like, well, no, that's part of being human. And it's part of like our shared experience, and it helps us like connect more than it helps us like kind of disconnect or whatever. So that's what I do with my music.
That's awesome.
I got a house in Northwest Goldberg that I've been transforming for the last 4 years, called a Detroit House of Music. And we have performances and some workshops, and it's been a really slow process. It's a 120-year-old house. It used to be a brothel in the 60s. We found all these receipts in the walls, like 1968, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, 2 hours, $2.75.
Wait, Mr. and Mrs. Jones both went?
And it costs only $2.75?
$2.75. And
that's a deal.
There's been a lot of loving in this house. That is a good deal. I mean, I don't know, 2 hours, back then for $2.75, maybe that was kind of a stretch for people.
Wow.
Mr. and Mrs. Jones, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, once in a while, and Mr. like Jackson or whatever.
That kind of tracks, because my dad's always like, when I used to go to the movies, it was a nickel.
Yeah.
So if it was a
Is
nickel
he like
to go to the
120?
movies... Yeah.
Well, I just didn't think that couples would go together.
Well,
I had no idea.
No, I mean, it's fake names. Oh. Wait, I know you got that. That was.
Oh my God!
But yeah,
God, you told me.
So this house is full of loving. It's got lots of love. I mean, more people have probably had sex in my house than like most houses. I mean, if it was a brothel.
Hey, whoa! You haven't been to my house, huh? Okay.
I knew I was opening a can of something.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. I was just saying, like, my songs are really dark, but like, in between songs, I try to lighten it up. So I'm getting some laughs. I mean, or is that you?
No, that's you.
Okay.
Yeah, we are not funny. It's all.
Yeah. Well, I think I said everything. I'm playing tomorrow at the Scarab Club.
That's where I got married.
Oh, it's a beautiful place, right?
It's amazing.
So I'm playing there with Jenny Nags, who was originally I Crime. Then Lac LaBelle. Then she had some babies, and she went away, and now this is like her first time sort of like she's playing back out. Yeah. And so I get to play with her and this other amazing Brooklyn artist, and so we're going to be there tomorrow.
Do you play downstairs in the garden?
We're going to be upstairs. We're going to be upstairs in the nice room. Nice. And then there's a concert at my house, Detroit House of Music, on November 3rd with Seth Bernard and Jordan Hamilton. And we're talking to some other folks about coming in soon.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm a teacher, educator. I teach little ones, and I work, also teach songwriting, and I work for the DSO. I build early childhood musical educational experiences for the DSO.
Do you teach?
That's how I make my money.
Do you teach or train people out of your house?
I don't do that because it's really complicated. I like try to now that I'm announcing it to like whoever is out there in the world, like don't tell everybody. But I try to keep that at the down low, and then I like the organizations I work for: Inside Out, Literary Arts Project, Living Arts Detroit. Yeah, I know, right? And the DSO. Those are the people that like help make this artist thrive, and then I do all this other stuff on the side.
Right. That's amazing.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much.
This is great.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great job.
Yeah, I feel like we did it.
We did.
You didn't even have to ask me anything. I just kind of said it. All right. Thank you. I'll be at the end of the show, I think.
Yeah, you will.
All right.
We hear another song.
I'll just announce myself at the end of the show. All right.
You want to sit here?
See you guys later. Oh, no. No, maybe next. If you ever need like a sub, just let me know. Yeah, all right. Do I leave the stage, or is that how it goes?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let's hear for Audra.